There are words in the Bible that were not meant to be merely read like a common book. They were written with a far deeper purpose: to echo, to resonate, to create a profound sound wave that reverberates within the core of your mind. These verses are more than simple prayers. They are authentic spiritual commands, intricate codes designed to reprogram and reshape your very consciousness. Have you ever wondered why certain passages seem to vibrate on a different frequency? As if an unseen force stirs or a divine energy awakens just by hearing them. This phenomenon is, by no means, a mere coincidence. It is, in fact, a form of divine technology, an ingeniously designed and operating system that exists beyond our superficial understanding. And a surprisingly small number of people know that a silent technique exists, a powerful method that has been subtly concealed within the Psalms, the Proverbs, and the very words of the Master himself. This technique holds the extraordinary power to completely rewrite your deeply ingrained patterns of fear, scarcity, and doubt, and to indelibly imprint a new reality onto your subconscious mind. A reality where your mind is firmly grounded in unwavering faith, and your heart is programmed to thrive and prosper in all circumstances. Today, you will have the opportunity to learn and master this practice that has been long forgotten by many. It is an ancient but incredibly effective biblical technique, capable of recalibrating and realigning your thoughts and intentions with the abundance and destiny that heaven has already reserved for you. Take a deep breath, silence every external and internal noise, and prepare yourself, because the process of renewing your mind, the transformation of your entire being, begins in this very moment. There is a secret that has been safeguarded for millennia within the sacred pages, which only a handful of individuals have dared to fully uncover and apply. A method so profoundly powerful that it holds the capacity to transform not only your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, but the very reality you live and experience every single day. Over the centuries, great men and women, true figures of faith, have applied specific biblical principles to reprogram their subconscious minds and manifest tangible miracles in their lives. Today, you will discover how to access this ancient wisdom and how to apply it in a practical and meaningful way on your personal journey of growth. Think of your subconscious mind as a sacred and fertile garden, which God Himself has planted within your being. It is a fundamental truth to grasp. It does not possess the ability to distinguish between what is fact and what is fiction, between what is a tangible reality and what is a product of your imagination. Its sole purpose is to accept, process, and manifest whatever you plant within it with the greatest frequency and the most powerful emotional intensity. And it is precisely here, in this mechanism, that the true essence of the transformative power of the Holy Scriptures resides. If you feel that this content is resonating with something deep within your heart, an intuition or a truth that speaks to you, we invite you to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. By doing so, you can continue to receive revelations that have the potential to completely change your life. Your journey of personal transformation starts now, and every video we publish is another step forward, another rung on the ladder toward the life you have always dreamed of living. Have you ever reflected on why some people seem to exist in a state of constant prosperity and inner peace, while others are forced to face what appear to be endless cycles of struggle and frustration? The answer to this question is not found in external circumstances, in the opportunities that arise, or in economic conditions. The key lies in the deep, unconscious internal programming of the subconscious mind. When Jesus said, "According to your faith, let it be done to you," He was revealing a universal and immutable law that governs the very process of reality creation. Biblical faith is not simply an act of believing in something abstract and distant, a vague and unfounded hope. On the contrary, it is a powerful and dynamic creative force that operates through the subconscious mind to make tangible and material whatever you genuinely accept and embrace as an undeniable truth. But here lies the main challenge that most people are forced to confront. Their subconscious minds are programmed with patterns of scarcity, fear, and limitation, patterns that have been created and reinforced over years of negative conditioning, criticism, and trauma. Imagine for a moment that your subconscious mind is like a divine computer, an operating system that works 24/7, processing thousands of pieces of information per second and creating your reality based on the programs running in the background. If these programs are corrupted, damaged by thoughts of incapacity, unworthiness, or impossibility, then your external life, your experiences, your relationships, and your prosperity will reflect these exact internal patterns. However, there is a method to completely reprogram this internal system. A method that is found hidden within specific biblical techniques that go far beyond the boundaries of traditional prayer. We are talking about approaches that merge the ancient wisdom contained in the scriptures with a modern and profound understanding of how the human mind truly functions. The first and most important revelation that needs to penetrate your inner being and your consciousness is this: God created you in His image and likeness, which implies that the divine creative power resides in its very essence within you. When Adam named the animals in Eden, he was not simply labeling creatures. He was exercising the intrinsic power of the spoken word to define and give form to the reality around him. This same creative authority, this same power, resides and lives within you today. The secret is to understand that the subconscious mind responds much more intensely, much more powerfully, and with greater effectiveness to mental images charged with emotion than to words devoid of authentic emotional meaning. And the Holy Scriptures are literally filled with powerful visualization techniques that the patriarchs and prophets of old used to manifest wonders and miracles. Think of Abraham, who was called the father of a multitude when he still had no children. God did not limit himself to uttering an empty promise. He made sure Abraham visualized. "Look toward heaven and count the stars, if you are able to number them," he told him. "So shall your offspring be." This repeated visualization, imbued with profound emotion and unwavering faith, reprogrammed Abraham's subconscious mind to accept as real a reality that had not yet physically manifested. At this point, you are probably asking yourself how to practically apply these principles in your daily life. The most powerful technique we can share with you is what we call creative contemplative prayer. This is not simply an act of asking, a list of things you desire. It is an experience, an entering into a state of deep contemplation where you see yourself already living the reality you aspire to manifest. The first crucial step is to find a quiet and peaceful place where you can connect with the divine without interruptions or distractions. Always begin with an act of acknowledgement of God's presence in you and around you. This step is vital because it aligns your personal vibrational frequency with the universal creative source. Afterward, you must create vivid, detailed, and rich mental images of what you wish to manifest. But here is the most crucial secret of all. You must see yourself not as someone who is asking or supplicating, but as someone who has already received. This change in perspective, from supplicant to receiver, is a revolutionary act because it programs your subconscious mind to accept the new reality as an already accomplished fact. Jesus demonstrated this perfectly when he multiplied the loaves and fish. He did not pray for food. He looked to heaven, gave thanks as if the multiplication had already taken place, and only then did he distribute the food. His subconscious mind and that of everyone present accepted the reality of abundance even before it manifested physically. But perhaps you are thinking, this seems too simple to be true. And in part, you are right. It is simple, but it is not easy. The real difficulty lies in overcoming years, often decades, of negative mental programming that has created powerful and deeply rooted blocks in your subconscious mind. These blocks often manifest as internal voices whispering, "You don't deserve this. This is impossible for someone like you. God doesn't care about your material desires." These voices do not represent your true identity. They are limiting programs that have been installed over the years due to negative experiences, received criticism, and social conditioning. The second revolutionary biblical technique is what we can define as the prophetic decree. This practice goes far beyond traditional prayer and enters the realm of creative declaration. When you study the scriptures, you realize that God created the universe itself through the spoken word. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. You possess that exact same creative authority. However, most people use their words to create the exact opposite of what they desire. They speak about their limitations, their fears, their impossibilities, and their subconscious mind obediently manifests those very negative declarations. The prophetic decree works in a radically different way. You are not asking for something. You are declaring a spiritual truth that already exists in the unseen realm and with authority commanding it to manifest in the physical realm. It is as if you are an ambassador from heaven, declaring divine decrees over your life. For example, instead of praying, "God, please give me prosperity," you declare, "I am prosperous because God has already supplied all my needs according to his riches in glory." Do you notice the substantial difference? One is the plea of someone who sees themselves as needy. The other is the declaration of someone who recognizes their true identity as a child of God. But there is one element that might prevent you from getting results. You must feel the truth of what you are declaring. If your words come from your mouth, but your heart is filled with doubt, you are sending contradictory signals to your subconscious mind, which will not know which program to run. The third technique is perhaps the most powerful of all: absorbent scriptural meditation. This process involves choosing specific verses that describe who you are in Christ and meditating on them until these spiritual truths become more real to you than your current circumstances. Take a verse like, "I can do all things through him who strengthens me," and begin to meditate deeply on it. Don't just repeat the words, but visualize yourself living that truth. See yourself overcoming obstacles, achieving dreams, manifesting miracles. Feel the deep sensation of being truly powerful through the divine force that operates within you. If you feel that something much greater is waiting for you, something you have not yet fully discovered about your potential, I have prepared a special resource that will further expand on everything you are learning here. You can find the link in the first pinned comment. It is not just another dose of information, but a key that can unlock doors you didn't even know existed. When you practice this meditation regularly, something extraordinary happens. These spiritual truths begin to take root and become more real to your subconscious mind than the physical evidence you see around you. And when this happens, your external reality automatically begins to realign with your new internal programming. Many people fail in this process because they expect instant results. But reflect on this. If you are 30, 40, or 50 years old, it means your subconscious mind has been programmed for decades with limiting patterns. It is completely natural for it to take some time to completely reprogram this system. The real secret, therefore, is persistent consistency. David wrote that he meditated on God's law day and night. It was not an occasional exercise, but a true way of life. And the result? He said he would be like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in its season, and whose leaf does not wither. There is also a very practical dimension that cannot and should not be ignored. While you are reprogramming your subconscious mind, you must remain alert to the opportunities that begin to appear in your life. Manifestation does not always happen magically. Often, God uses people, circumstances, and concrete opportunities to turn your prayers into reality. When you are truly aligned with the biblical principles of manifestation, you develop a spiritual sensitivity that helps you recognize these divine opportunities. You begin to be in the right place, at the right time, meeting the right people. This is by no means a coincidence. It is the law of attraction operating through the vehicle of biblical faith. But perhaps you are facing a specific situation that seems utterly impossible to change. It could be your financial condition, a difficult relationship, a health problem, or a dream that always seems out of reach. Herein lies a powerful truth. There are no impossible situations for God, only minds that have not yet been reprogrammed to accept the possibility of a miracle. The fourth technique is what I call renewed identity. This involves a deep and total transformation of how you see yourself. Most people build their identity based on their past experiences, their current limitations, or the opinions of others. But your true identity is who God says you are. When you study the scriptures, you discover that God calls you a child, an heir, a victor, more than a conqueror, the head and not the tail, prosperous, healthy, and blessed. These are not just beautiful words, they are identity declarations that must be internalized until they become your subconscious reality. Imagine what it would be like to live every day knowing with complete certainty that you are a child of the King of the universe, that you have access to all the resources of the heavenly kingdom, that you were created for a great purpose, and that nothing can stop you from fulfilling your divine destiny. This profound transformation of identity is the ultimate key to unlocking levels of manifestation you never thought possible. The reprogramming process also involves an aspect we can call a mental fast. Just as a physical fast purifies the body of toxins, a mental fast purifies the subconscious mind of toxic and limiting thought patterns. This means deliberately avoiding thoughts, conversations, entertainment, and influences that reinforce limitations in your life. If you spend hours watching negative news, listening to people complain, or consuming content that feeds fear and scarcity, you are constantly reprogramming your subconscious mind with patterns that limit you. A mental fast creates a sacred space in your consciousness, allowing biblical patterns of abundance and possibility to take root and firmly establish themselves. There is also a very important aspect concerning God's timing. Sometimes, what seems like a delay is actually a phase of preparation. God is not just working to bring you what you desire, but He is also preparing you to receive and, more importantly, to maintain what is coming. If you were to receive everything you desire today without first developing the necessary character and wisdom, you could lose everything in an instant. For this reason, the process of reprogramming the subconscious mind is not just about manifesting things. It is about becoming the person who can sustain and multiply God's blessings. It's about developing genuine faith, profound gratitude, authentic generosity, wisdom, and sincere love. The fifth technique is anticipatory testimony. It is an incredibly powerful practice where you begin to give testimony, to speak and tell about what has not yet manifested physically, but is already a reality in the spiritual realm. You speak of your dreams not as a distant future, but as present realities that are unfolding in your life. This may seem strange to those who do not understand spiritual principles, but it is exactly what Abraham did. He was called father of a multitude when he still had no children, yet he accepted and spoke of this identity as if it were an already accomplished reality. When you practice anticipatory testimony, you are sending clear signals to your subconscious mind that what you desire is not just possible, but it is inevitable. You begin to live, to speak, and to act as someone who has already received what they are seeking. But it is crucial to understand that this is not about pretending or deluding yourself. It is about connecting with a spiritual reality that exists before the physical manifestation. It is about exercising true faith, which is the firm conviction of things not yet seen but hoped for. The most transformative aspect of this entire process is that you begin to understand that you are not merely a petitioner before God, but a co-creator with Him. You were created in the image and likeness of the Creator Himself, which means you have responsibility and authority over your own reality. This does not diminish God's sovereignty. On the contrary, it expresses it in a more complete and wonderful way. When you use biblical principles to reprogram your subconscious mind and manifest a life of abundance, peace, and purpose, you are glorifying God by demonstrating the creative power He has placed within you. Many people are afraid to desire good things for their lives because they have been taught that this is an act of selfishness or a lack of spirituality. But think about this. If you are a child of an infinitely rich and powerful king, wouldn't it be natural for him to want you to live in an abundant and prosperous way? Your prosperity and happiness do not diminish divine resources. On the contrary, they showcase and manifest them to a world that needs them. The final crucial aspect is anticipatory gratitude. When you pray, visualize, and declare, always end with a profound act of gratitude, as if you have already received what you desire. This anticipatory gratitude is a powerful signal to your subconscious mind that you truly believe, in the depths of your heart, that your prayer has been answered. Jesus always gave thanks before seeing the miracle manifested. When he raised Lazarus, he said, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me." He did not pray for Lazarus to be raised. He gave thanks because he knew he had already been heard. This anticipatory gratitude also elevates your emotional vibration to a receiving frequency. When you are genuinely grateful, you are in harmony with divine abundance, and this accelerates the entire manifestation process. Remember, your subconscious mind is always functioning, always creating, always manifesting. The question is not whether it will work or not, but what kind of programming, what kind of instructions you are feeding it. You have the power to choose to program it with biblical patterns of faith, hope, love, and abundance. Or you can let it continue to operate with the limiting patterns of fear, scarcity, and impossibility. The final choice is yours, but now you have the tools. You know the secrets that have been used for generations by men and women of faith to transform their realities. You have the power and authority to reprogram your subconscious mind using proven biblical principles. Your journey of transformation begins now. Every day that you practice these techniques, you will be one step closer to living that extraordinary life that God has specifically planned for you. Do not let any more precious time pass without applying these truths in your life. Your best version, your full expression of who you are, is just waiting to be manifested. If you feel that this content has impacted you and if you recognize that these principles can be the key to your transformation, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Your journey of spiritual growth and conscious manifestation has just begun, and we want to walk with you on this extraordinary discovery.